Do you actually want to understand the medical terms used in class, in your textbook, and all the lingo used in the hospital? Not just memorize them, but actually know them. Well, listen, I want you to take this medical terminology series very seriously. Watch these videos from front to back. It'll actually help you significantly. And no, your professor is not going to teach you this. This is your next lesson on root words, but you should first watch our prefix lesson. We served up tricks, examples, and illustrations and how to remember the prefixes. It'll really help. 2x it, watch it at the gym, do whatever, but do watch it. The link to those videos can be found in the caption below. Before going over all the root words, quickly, let's paint a summary of medical terminology. Medical terms are broken down to have a beginning, middle, and an end. And you combine them to understand the meaning of the word. The beginning is the prefix, and you saw the examples in the previous lesson. This is the descriptive part. The middle of the word is known as the root, which is what this lesson is all about. Root words provide the subject of the medical term, its meaning. You'll see a lot of body parts or systems over here. The suffix is our ending of the word, and it brings meaning to the medical term. It's the condition of the word. Now stay with us, okay? We haven't even started yet. You don't want to miss our videos, so hit the subscribe button now. Be the first to see all the new lessons on your feed. Look out for how we color things in the prefix lesson. It was all red for the beginning. And now for the root words, we'll illustrate it in yellow for the middle. We have this lesson broken into 2 videos, root words part 1 and root words part 2. You know, root words are interesting. You'll see a lot of them ending in O, and this is so we can easily pronounce them. It's the combining form. And don't worry if you see a vowel other than O. It serves the same purpose. It's a combining vowel. They all combine the root word to the suffix, and even combining a root word to another root word. Also, do notice medical root words are not always stuck in the middle of the word. They can also form the beginning of the word if there isn't a prefix. When there is a prefix, the root word is in the middle. Like we just said, root words can also combine with another root word in the term. Alright, now sit up straight. Your posture and neck is all crooked right now. First off, we have homeo. Homeo means body. You know about homeopathic medicine, which is an alternative form of medicine based on theory of treating the body. Somato also refers to body. We have our somatic nervous system, which is a subdivision of our peripheral nervous system that stretches throughout the body. Cranio is for our skull. As you know, the cranium. Cephalo and capito both mean head. Cephalo we know from the cephalic region, and capito we can see in the example fovea capitis, which is the ball-shaped head, the cap of your femur bone. Next we have encephalo for brain, condition known as encephalitis, which uses the suffix itis, meaning inflammation, is an inflammation of the brain. Cerebro, well bro, this is for cerebrum. Cerebello is for cerebellum. Don't confuse cerebro and cerebellum, because when you start learning the arteries in the circle of Willis, things will get overwhelming, like pica and ica for posterior and anterior cerebellar arteries, and anterior, middle, and posterior cerebral arteries. Just be careful. Dorso is for back. You saw this in the prefix lesson as well. And you must remember we said dorsal fin of the dolphin. Or did we say shark? I forget. But also think of the dorsal column. Next, let's see the root words relating to the spine and spinal cord. We have spondylo for spine and vertebra, ankylo for crooked, bent, or fused, kypho for humped, scolio is twisted or crooked, and myelo is either bone marrow or spinal cord. Let's have a look at some examples. Spondylo, having to do with the spine and vertebra. We have the condition spondylolisthesis, involving spine instability, moving more than it should. Root word spondylo, spine, and suffix listhesis for slippage. This is a break in the bony ring of the vertebra and a forward slippage of the body of the vertebra. The term ankylo refers to crooked, bent, or fused. This root is found in ankylosing spondylitis. Check it out, we're on fire with our suffix. It's an inflammatory disease, which over time can cause some of the bones in the spine, root spondylo, to fuse, which we said is what ankylo means. Moving on with some spine deformity terms, kypho we have kyphosis, humpback, and scolio is for scoliosis. Kyphosis is the K showing an abnormal anterior curvature of the spine with forward rounding of the upper back. And scoliosis is the S shape, which is an abnormal S lateral curvature of the spine, sideways. Now myelo for bone marrow or spinal cord, I want you to think of these examples. Myeloma, which is a malignant tumor, suffix oma, of the bone marrow. Root, myelo. Think of myeloscus, which is when the spinal cord and the surrounding nerve tissue are exposed to the amniotic fluid. Lastly, let's drive myelo home with myeloencephalitis, a fun word that has the suffix itis, screaming inflammation, and root words we just learned. Myelo for spinal cord, we see the root word encephalos in there for brain, and we have an itis, so we have an inflammation of both the spinal cord and brain. It's that easy. Tricho is a root word for hair, and we have a nerdy word, trichobezoar, which means hairball. And some students who skipped and didn't watch this entire medical terminology video series will develop trichotillomania during their exams, which is compulsive hair pulling. Frontal refers to your forehead. We know this from our frontalis muscle in the frontal lobe of the brain. Opto and oculo is for the eye. We have optometry, ophthalmology, and for oculo, we know our third cranial nerve, the ocular motor nerve. Blepharo is a fancy word for eyelid. We have blepharospasm, which is an abnormal blinking and twitching. We have our lacrimal gland. Ofrio is another fancy term, and it's your eyebrow. Retino, well, it's your retina. Kerato is the cornea. We have an eye condition known as keratoconus, in which your cornea gets thinner and gradually bulges outwards into a cone shape. Irido refers to your iris, and we can use the example iridocyclitis, which is an itis, suffix for inflammation. This is an inflammation of both the iris and the ciliary body. Or and odo is your ear. The auricle is your outer ear, and the postauricular, which has the prefix post, meaning before, behind, is a term for behind the ear. And odo for ear, we have our otoscope, which is an instrument to examine the ear. Timpano and maringo refers to the eardrum. We have an instrument for examining the eardrum called the maringoscope. Audi and acousto refer to hearing. Audi we can remember with auditory sounds, and for acousto, just recall hearing acoustic music. Phono, sono, and echo all refer to sound. Phono is also for speech. Think telephone. For sono, you must be thinking sonogram. But what's the difference between sonogram and ultrasound? Well, an ultrasound is a tool used to make a picture, and a sonogram is the picture that the ultrasound generates. And echo? Well, you must be thinking ECGs. Echocardiogram is an ultrasound of the cardiovascular system. Bucco means cheek, since we have our buccinator muscle over there. Rhino means nose. You'll hear rhinoplasty for what we call a nose job. Think of rhino and its horn as the nose. Nasal also means nose. Nasal, right? Labio is your lips. For example, we can think of two different lips. Labioplasty, which is a procedure that reduces the length of the labia minora, the lips of your vulva. And then on the other end, we have labiodental sounds, which has the root words dento for teeth. Labiodental sounds refer to the letters made using our lower lip and upper teeth, such as F or V.
The top teeth are biting the bottom lip.
I bet you're trying this now. Chylo is also another name for lips. You'll find this word used in the surgical procedure, chyloplasty, for lip restoration. Think cleft palate repairs. Stroma refers to the mouth or opening. Oro is also for mouth, and you have the example oropharynx, which is a part of the pharynx that lies between the soft palate and the hyoid bone. Glosso and lingua refers to the tongue. We have the term macroglossia, which has the prefix macro, meaning large. This is used for an enlarged tongue. And lingua, think of speaking multiple tongues. You're multilingual. Odonto is for teeth. We have the term periodontitis. You see itis, so we know inflammation. And the prefix peri, which we saw in the previous video, which means around. So periodontitis is a gum disease that causes inflammation around the teeth. Dent is teeth. Dentist, right? Gingivo is gums. For example, gingivitis is the earliest stage of gum disease. Geni is for the chin, and mento is also for the chin. Think of the mental artery, which is located near the chin and is a terminal branch of the inferior alveolar artery arising from the maxillary. Mandibulo is the root word for mandible bone. Cerv refers to the neck. Cervical bones of your vertebrae are in the neck region. Thoraco means chest. Think thoracotomy, which is the surgical incision through the chest wall. Stetho also means chest, which is also used for your most expensive piece of jewelry, your stethoscope. You use it on the chest to listen. Brachial refers to the arm, as we have the brachial plexus, the nerve bundle under the armpit. And axilla is what you call the armpit. Think, because the axillary artery is also found here intertwined in the plexus. I hope you're having a lot of brain flashes right now. Carpal is for the wrist. We have the condition carpal tunnel, which is an anatomical region people complain of pain when typing. And of course the metacarpal bones. Don't you just love the color work of RevMed diagrams? Metacarpal bones, which has the prefix meta, which means after. Metacarpal bones are the bones of the hand which are after the carpal bones of the wrist. Acro refers to the extremities or top. The condition acromegaly showcases the prefix megalo from the previous video, which we said means large or larger. And so acromegaly is when the body produces too much growth hormone, causing the body tissues and bones to grow mega, large, and quickly. Digit is for finger or toe. Think flexor digiti minimi, a pinky muscle. Genu means the knee. This is different from geni, which is the chin. We know this from the conditions genu verum and genu vagum. Rum bottle between the knees shows the bow leg appearance in genu verum, causing an outward angle of the genus, the knees, and genu vagum has gum sticking the knees together in knock knees, causing an inward angle of the knees. Abdominal means abdomen. Think of abdominal muscles and abs. And lateral also means abdomen, which you can recall your lap is close to your abdomen. We also have the surgical incision of laparotomy, which is when the surgeon is going into the abdominal cavity. Pelvo is your pelvic, your pelvis, and vesico is the bladder or blister. And fistula is an abnormal connection, so check it out, colovesical fistula. Here's so many root words, colo for colon, vesico for bladder, and fistula meaning an abnormal connection between the colon and the bladder. Visceral is your viscera, the internal organs. Splanchal refers to the viscera as well. Recall in anatomy, the splanchnic nerves are the ones that contribute to the innervations of the internal organs. Periton is for peritoneum, which is the membrane lining the cavity of your abdomen and covering those abdominal organs. Derm or dermato is for the skin or dermis. Think dermatology. Cutaneous is another word for skin. For example, transcutaneous is a good word with the prefix trans, as we discussed in the video before, meaning across. This means by way of or through the skin. I promise you this is all worth it. You're doing amazing. And before you go to part 2 of root words, hyperacusis and cerebrovascular. These two terms have root words you just learned. Now tell me their meanings in the comments below. Alright, don't forget to watch part 2, and after that, the suffix lesson. If you'd like to see more of this lesson, head over to our Instagram page and TikTok channel at rev.med. We'll have this lesson along with many other topics for you to study. By the way, don't forget to do questions. Are you learning something from our videos? Well then click the subscribe button to your right. We are releasing high-yield lessons and ways for you to get ahead in class. Be sure to follow us on Instagram to take interactive quizzes and view your favorite diagrams. Nothing can stop you, but only if you believe in yourself. You got this.